School, when the FCS to going and facing a top 5 team like Ole Miss, is it difficult to change your mentality in the week, or is it all just the same to you guys?
I think we try to keep it as similar as possible week to week. We don't try to get too high for a team or too low for a team. We try to stay pretty even keel for every opponent. So I hope there's not much change from last week to this week, and I don't think you'll see it from our team.
What do you see out of Ole Miss now that you've gotten a chance to look at them? Obviously, they're very good in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, they are. They're very confusing in the backfield. A lot of their coverages, they disguise the same. So we're going to have to do a good job of getting the post-snap confirmation, be able to see things after the ball snapped. So they're very physical. They're very fast up front as well. We got our hands full again. It's SEC week in and week out. We're facing the top defenses in the country. So we definitely have our work cut out for us.
Justin, what can you guys do, if anything, to slow down their pass rush?
We got to do a good job up front. We got to execute, and we can't have some of these mental errors we've had in the past few weeks. May do a little bit more max protection, but other than that, it should be the same old offense from us. A couple nuances that we put in every week, but we just got to go out there and execute now.
So a guy like Marcus Jackson had to step up and lead that unit into this team into your line.
I think having somebody step up is really good for our offensive line, to give them some confidence, give them some love that they may not be feeling from anybody else. So having a couple guys step up in that room is always good, and somebody that can say, follow me, I got y'all, I'll lead y'all. So I think Marcus does a good job. I think Matt Crowder does a good job being some of the older guys in the room.
Justin, what do you compare their secondary? And I know part of that stems from their front, but they don't have a ton of sacks, but they've got a bunch of interceptions. What do you see out their back end?
They fly around. They're tricky to see, I think, from a quarterback's perspective. A lot of moving parts back there, so I think they do a good job at disguising things, and I think they've confused a lot of guys playing quarterback against them.
When you watch on tape, when you see a guy who's thrown an interception against him, you look at it and go, well, I think I know what he saw there, but what he saw wasn't really there. Was it pretty obvious when you see that kind of stuff?
Yeah, they do. They've racked up some of the interceptions, and some of them have been stupid throws by the quarterbacks. And I'm not knocking any quarterback that's played them, but there's always those dumb throws where they try to force it in there, and there's also plays where they made a tremendous play on the ball. So they're definitely very athletic, and they definitely know how to play the ball in the air. So we're going to have to execute and be smart with the football this week.
Justin, up front, when they bring the pressure, do they do anything exotic, or is it pretty just straight up man-on-man stuff?
They like to twist and run stunts up front. They've got the physical attributes to do that and to beat guys with their speed and size. So they're not very exotic in their blitz schemes, but they do get pressure on the quarterback through their twists and stunts up front.
Is this a week where the receivers for you guys have to live up to their stature and really make sure they get out of their breaks well and make sure they're open down the field?
I think so. I mean, every week's a big week for us, but I keep on saying we got to go out and execute. I think we're a really strong offense if we can do that. So we definitely, it's in our hands at this point. I think if we go out there and run our offense well and execute, I think we can score some points on them and compete well. If not, then it might be a long day for us. But I got faith in these guys, and we had a good work day today. So I'm excited for this week.
Was Saturday good to get back in a rhythm? It seemed like you were more in a rhythm than you had been with.
Yeah, it's always good to come off a couple losses and get a big victory, build some confidence back, get some momentum going into this next stretch that we have. So I think the guys were excited for the win. A couple guys had some big days, so it always helps having some momentum going on the road against a top 5 opponent.
Speaking of momentum, you guys came out at Georgia, had a great first 2 drives. How important is it to come out and start well in this game?
I think it's always important to start fast, and you can't sit there and wait for the drives and opportunities to be given to you. You got to go out there and take it. And I think against Georgia we did a good job of going out there and executing early and putting some points on the board quick. So if we can do that this week, it more the better. I think we just got to go out there and execute and play within ourselves.
Justin, you guys have a 7-game losing streak against opponents in the SEC West. What would it mean to you and this football program to finally get a win over an opponent on that side of the division?
It'd be big. Every SEC game is important for us, so we got to go out there with a business-like approach and play some good football.
Justin, sorry if you've been asked this, but Ole Miss, they lead the conference in interceptions. What do they do so well that lets them be able to turn teams over like that?
They disguise things well in the back end. Obviously, they're physical and fast back there. It's probably the easiest thing to notice out of their guys. They fly around. They trick quarterbacks, I feel like, just watching their defense. A lot of their coverages look the same pre-snap, and then they may rotate late or do some different things in the backfield. So I've got to be sharp this week as well as our receivers out there.
Does that put a lot on you in not getting fooled by some of those disguises?
Yeah, and it all goes into film prep and understanding what you're seeing. So the more film I can watch, the better prepared I'll be. So right now we got to have another good day of practice tomorrow and get a good look from our scout team and go in there and play some good football.
With the way they disguise everything, how important is it for you to have a lot of eye discipline in this game?
It's important. It's important for me to be able to use my eyes and maybe confuse them a little bit with where I'm going with football. I can't be staring down receivers, but I've got to do a good job of seeing things after the ball is snapped as well. So I've got to be disciplined and we got to be sharp in the pass game.
How good are you at sliding? If you keep the ball on a zone read or whatever it's called, you get out of the pocket, pretty good at sliding?
Yeah, I mean, I've slid in the past. I'm going to try to fight for yardage if I can, though.
Willing to take a hit?
I am. I've taken hits all year.
Yeah, yes you have.
Yeah.
What's it like to deal with Cam Sutton, I guess, when you're playing against him in scrimmages and stuff like that?
He's definitely what he's lived up to in the games. He pushes our receivers. He pushes me as well. He's definitely a tough guy to throw against. So he adds value to our offense just going against him every day.
Is he good at baiting you, basically? I mean, does he show you stuff that makes you think you can throw over to his side when you really can't?
I'm not sure he's big into that type of a game. He matches routes really well. He covers down the field extremely well and plays the ball in the air, which I think that's invaluable as a corner.